study of the book. We are in chapter number 19. So last time we had just begun it. Today we will, Krishna willing, complete it. So before we begin, let's offer Mangalacharana prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sa Agrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna, welcome. Let's offer our prayers to Shad Goswamis. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Sadharma Samsthapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Maktalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. Let's quickly recite the important verses. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate atah Shri Krishna namadi न भवेत् ग्राह्यमिन्द्रियै सेवोन्मुखे हि जिह्वादौ स्वयम् एव स्फुरत्यदा अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्धः कृष्णसम्बन्धे युक्तं वैराग्यमुच्यते. Hare Krishna. So last time we had just begun the chapter number 19. The chapter title is, any of you recollect? What's the name of the chapter? Yes?
Yeah, correct.
What's the name of the chapter?
Prem Bhav.
Prem Bhav. What a name. But this is not the name Prabhupada has written there.
Prabhupada written the pure love of God.
Prem Bhakti.
So all of the students of Nectar of Devotion, you should not mix Prema and Bhakti. You should not distinctly. Sorry. It is Prema Bhakti. It is the chapter on Prema Bhakti. The exact English name is Devotional Service in Pure Love of God. So we all have seen so far in Nectar of Devotion how the flow has been, is it not? The first 19 chapters which we are studying in this course, of course, the whole Nectar of Devotion has 4 sides or divisions within which many chapters are there. But we are studying first 19 chapters only. So in this, the first major part of the whole book is sadhana bhakti, right? So in fact, from introduction onwards itself, sadhana bhakti starts, and the first chapter onwards, the description of general characteristics, and then sadhana bhakti definition starts. So here we had seen last time the bhava bhakti, we had completed that 17th, 18th chapter specifically we did last time, and we had begun the 19th chapter. So when we say sadhana bhakti, it has two divisions: Vaidhi sadhana, Raganuga sadhana. I hope all of you are sufficiently bored with me, because I've repeated these definitions many times, and all of you should be able to remember that. So last time we did discuss about bhava bhakti. Quickly seeing what it is. It is a preliminary state of prema, like a sprout before the actual plant begins, like the rays of sun before the sun actually is seen in the horizon, like that bhava is to prema. So bhava bhakti, there are many characteristics. Very importantly, it is a state where there is shuddha sattva. It has started to manifest. Till then there was nishtha, ruchi, asakti, all those stages. But actual, extinguishment of raja and tama has completed in bhava. And the secondary characteristic is that heart has become soft, and there are various desires to attain Krishna. And that bhava, last time we did see how it can be attained. So Prabhupada describes, following the Rupa Goswami's words, that one can attain bhava by the practice of Vaidhi bhakti or by the practice of Raganuga bhakti. We had seen the descriptions or examples to them. And surely, when Lord's mercy is there, one can attain bhava without the sadhana also. That is also a possibility which we had seen. Of course, to attain bhava also needs mercy by the process of sadhana. But nonetheless, the path in the other branch is the mercy alone. There is no precursor of practice of bhakti in this other branch. So mercy is there at every stage of the path of bhakti. In fact, the whole bhakti is called path of grace. But nonetheless, the grace could be so extraordinary at some times. It's very rare, such kind of mercy, that it can, without any pre-appearance or practice of bhakti, one can be elevated to bhava also. So one cannot deny that possibility, because Lord's mercy, anything could be possible. So we had seen examples for this, how this kind of elevation we see. And in chapter 18, especially, very important topic was there, that is 9 reliable characteristics or symptoms of bhava bhakti. One should not mistaken bhava bhakti to be just an expression of ecstatic symptoms of crying tears, or shivering, or such kind of bodily changes. So as to not mistaken such appearances to be bhava, our Goswamis, especially Rupa Goswami here, is pointing out such symptoms which can't be imitated, which can't be hidden also. So these are very important to remember. Can anyone recollect? Let me hear from all of you. What are the names?
Prabhuji, no wasting time, tolerance.
No wasting.
Perseverance.
Tolerance. Yes, second one. Then
Detachment from all the material enjoyment.
maybe one devotee can say one or two. Let others also get out. Yes, say it. You're saying what is that quality? Say again.
Detachment from material enjoyment.
Yeah, detachment, virakti. Yes, 3 happened. Then
It's pridelessness.
Pridelessness. It's called mana shunyata. Yes, that's 4th one.
And one is the great hope.
Yes, hope. The hope again. Asha bandha,
Hopefully.
it is called. Very important.
Yeah.
That's my favorite quality. It really gives a lot of encouragement how bhakta can be positively looking towards mercy of Lord in any situation, despite his so many limitations. Then any other 5 happened. Then
Namaruchi.
Eagerness.
Namaga.
Prabhu.
One at a time, please. What is the Nama? Something someone told?
Ruchi. Namaruchi.
Nama Ruchi. Specifically, it is Namagane Sada Ruchi. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
To
the Ruchi.
always find so great pleasure in chanting the names of God. Sixth one. Yes, then
Eagerness to serve.
eagerness to serve.
Yes.
Very good. That's a very nice quality. Yeah? One should always aspire for it. Samutkantha. Yes. Then
Attachment to holy name.
that's what we saw just now, saw, no? Namagane Sadaruchi.
Attachment to hear or discuss the Krishna glories, Krishna pastimes.
Yes. That's the interesting thing. Huh? Asakti gunakhyane, the great desire or asakti to speak and hear Lord's qualities. One more, last one, ninth.
Staying at Dhamma.
Staying at Dhamma, especially it is like attraction to stay at Dhamma. It's not just staying in Dhamma. See, there are those preceding emotions are very important. Huh? Like the first one, you should also try to memorize the Sanskrit names. Avyartha kalatvam. If you have not noted, please note it. This is as if you are one of the questions because it's almost always there. Avyartha kalatvam. No vyartha kalagana. No wasting of time. Kshanti, to be tolerant, patient, perseverant. That is kshanti. Then virakti, detachment. The word used was, it's basically indifference. Virakti. In fact, higher than vairagya it is. Fourth one, manashunyata. No man or pride or being puffed up about anything. Pridelessness. Then fifth one, ashabandha, that hope aspect. How Krishna will surely deliver me. That hope. Sixth one, samutkantha, the eagerness. Samutkantha, utkantha. Seventh, namagane sadaruchi. To sing the names of Lord, always one finds great taste or attraction to it. Namagane sadaruchi. Sixth one, asakti tad gunakhyane. Akhyana means to describe. So great asakti or attraction, in fact addiction it is taught here, to describe or glorify Krishna's qualities. And lastly, ninth one, priti tad vasati sthale. Wherever Krishna stayed, vasati sthala, to go to there and live there, there is great love or attachment or attraction to that, to live in Dham. Total 9 of them. So very, very important description here it is. Of course, after this, we also saw someone who expresses bhava as an imitation. Such person also Krishna blesses with what is called bhava abhasa. That also we had seen. And then we went on to see what all could be blockages or reasons for one's reduction or diminution of bhava. So one should always be very careful because some stages are there, some examples are there. Someone who committed an offense, his bhava, in fact, it became absent. The example is Dvivida. It became practically destroyed. To the degree one's offense is, to that degree the reduction or diminution will be. And if one associates with the mokshakami, impersonalist, mayavadi, to that degree the bhava can get degraded too. So this we had seen last time. Right? And of course, one should, if some places, if the bhava bhakta happens to exhibit some fault, one should see as if what? What example was given?
Like moon has some spots in that, but it doesn't degrade his shyness or his power or glory. So if a devotee do some kind of faults also, we should not see like he is a degrading.
Yes, very
Still
good.
he is a pure devotee.
Yes, just like the dark spots on the moon, which is looking like rabbit or something. So it doesn't become a hindrance for the moonshine. Is it not? Similarly, apparent faults, occasional faults, accidental faults of person in bhava should not be paid much attention. In fact, because bhava is there, there is such great affection to Lord, ecstasy, that will just a passing of time. Like that one should see, like that Rupa Goswami gives us description. So last time we did enter chapter 9. We saw what is prema bhakti. So chapter 19 is about prema bhakti. So 17 and 18 were for bhava bhakti, 19 is prema bhakti. Of course, the chapters coming ahead after this are descriptions of how to attain prema or one's character in prema. All that descriptions of symptoms, many things are there about prema. So definition of prema, which Rupa Goswami describes, is like this. Can someone read this translation below? When bhava.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam, may I read?
Yes, kindly.
When bhava becomes extremely condensed, it is called prema by the learned. It softens the heart completely and produces extreme possessiveness of the Lord in the experiencer.
Samyan ma shrinita swantaha. Ma shrinita means softening. So there is a great softening of heart. Earlier bhava also there was soften, little soft heart. Basically it means quickly there could be ecstasy or a moment of heart towards hearing of something which reminds of Krishna. They immediately become so absorbed in Krishna. That's the softening of heart. Then mamatva atishayankitaha. They feel Krishna is mine, mamatva. Krishna is mine. He is my object of worship, my object of, everything of mine is dedicated for him. That mamata is very intense, extreme, atishaya. Bhavasa eva sandratma, sandratma. Anywhere you remember this word, sandratma? You have heard in Nectar of Devotion only somewhere.
It's intensified.
Yeah. But the word sandra, somewhere you remember? You've heard it. The very beginning chapters of this book. Sandrananda Visheshatma. There was a word like that. One of the six characteristics of Uttama Bhakti. Kleshagni, Shubhada. In that, there was one word called Sandrananda. I think since it's been a long time, maybe you might have forgotten. Okay. So, bhavasa eva sandratma. It is condensed. Sandra means solid. Sandra, drava, anila. Solid, liquid, and gas. That's the words used. So, sandra means it's condensing. It's condensing. Like earlier, it was liquid sugar. The example is given. Now it is becoming solid. Granules of sugar. Though it's rough sugar, because ahead of prema also, there are stages like sneha, pranaya, raga, anuraga, mahabhava. These are all condensing of that sugar. What was like a liquid sugar became little granular. Little it becomes like mishri, white sugar. It becomes more and more condensing. Like that, the description is given. So very clearly, you can see three characteristics: extreme condensation of bhava, softening of the heart, and extreme possessiveness. That's how it is described. So we had seen it last time about this description. So this extreme possessiveness is highlighted, in fact, how they perceive, these great devotees perceive how Krishna is theirs. Can you read this? The devotee was reading, Prabhu. Can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
As at stage of prema, one's concept of I and mine, who I am, and what belongs to me, centers entirely on Krishna. I am Krishna's servant, friend, etc. And Krishna is my master, friend, etc.
Continue.
Narad Pancharatra and Bhishma Dev statements illustrate this. When lust is completely transferred to SPOG, and the concept
Supreme Personality of Godhead, sorry. Sorry for that.
Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the concept of kinship is completely reposed in him. Such is accepted as pure love of God
Ah.
by great authorities like Bhishma, Prahlad, Uddhav, and Narad.
Narada. So the concept of kinship means mamata. Kin, kith and kin, they say to one's very dear and near. So kin means they are mine, like our family members. Oh, he's my husband, my wife, my child, my, like that bhava, like that one feels towards Krishna. That is one of the symptoms of prema, like that it is described. So let's go to the book exactly where we are studying. And okay, we saw this. So Prabhupada does warn this. Let me just show that part and take ahead. That one should not mistaken this prema to be something like lust. The love or prema can only be used in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because here there is a great desire to please that is not found in any relationship of this world. So that's why Prabhupada says, whatever you call in this world as love is actually very selfish, called as lust. The love, that word, prema, can only be used with the Supreme Lord. So that he wants. In fact, that's the way, in fact, the great personalities like Bhishma and others describe. Yeah. So can you read this part? We will go ahead with today's discussion.
According to Bhishma, love means reposing one's affection completely upon one person, withdrawing all affinities for any other person. This pure love can be transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead under two conditions: out of ecstasy and out of causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself.
Yes. So here also, how that prema could be generated, how that prema could be awakened. Let's use that word awakened, because prema is there dormant in the heart, everyone's ability, everyone's potential it is. How it could be awakened? There are two conditions for it. One is out of ecstasy. Can you guess what does this word mean, out of ecstasy? The name ecstasy was used where? Huh?
Out of love, like bhava to love Krishna.
From the bhava stage, one proceeds to prema.
Famous.
Because bhava was described earlier. Ecstasy here means bhava. Please equate the word ecstasy with bhava. Okay. So from bhava, one moves to prema. Or there could be a very special condition of causeless mercy of Lord, wherein a person has not attained bhava, directly he can go to prema. So how does one attain bhava? Do you remember? Earlier we had seen. How does one attain bhava? By sadhana bhakti, no?
Sadhana bhakti, by greeting,
By Vaidhi sadhana or Raganuga sadhana. You may remember just today in the revision, I showed that chart. Is it not? And the bhava could be attained by sadhana under which Vaidhi and Raganuga was mentioned. Is it not? So like that, similarly, prema, which could be attained from the state of bhava, and that bhava could be attained from the state of either Vaidhi or Raga. So like this, our acharyas now describe. So what follows now is description of each of this branch of growth. Okay. So one could be attaining prema after he has attained bhava. And one could be attaining bhava after he had attained either Vaidhi or Raganuga sadhana, after the practice of them. So each of these branches are given examples to them, and there is description from Prabhupada now. So let us read that. Ecstasy. So this is the way. What does ecstasy mean here? Attaining prema by after attaining ecstasy. This is the title actually. Though it is just titled ecstasy, what it means is how one attains prema by the way after one has attained bhava. Can you read ecstatic love of Godhead?
Ecstatic love of Godhead can be potently invoked simply by following the rules and regulations of devotional service as they are prescribed in scriptures under the direction of bona fide spiritual master.
So here comes a very interesting verse to evidence this. See, it is told here, one who follows the regulations, the rules and regulations as they are prescribed in Shastra. So which type of bhava is this? Which type of sadhana bhakti by which bhava has attained is shown here? Which type of, huh?
Vaidehi, Prabhuji.
Say again.
Vaidehi, who is following the scriptures now?
Vaidhi.
Vaidehi.
Vaidhi sadhana, right, you're right. So bhava which is attained by practice of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, that is the further resulting into prema, because the chapter is titled prema, let's not forget it. Okay, so that bhava which is obtained by Vaidhi sadhana, that matures into prema. For that, here is an example. The example is very interesting. It is coming, actually, the shloka in 11th canto. Krishna describes, in fact, not Krishna, this is Nimi and Navayogendra conversation. So this shloka is, it's a very interesting shloka because it's quoted in a very special episode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. You all know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received Harinam Diksha from whom? No remembering, huh? My God. We are all followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Huh? Anyway, tolerate me. Today is the last class. Yes, please tell me. He took Harinam Diksha.
Ishwarpuri.
Ishwarapuri.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Ishwarapuri. Yes.
I forgot.
That's Ishwarapuri. So he took Diksha at the place called Gaya. Right? He had gone for very recently. This time has happened of Pitru Paksha. Right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the pretext of offering oblation, not oblations, what do you say that? Tarpana. I don't know what's the word. He had gone to Gaya because that's the place considered as most apt for that purpose. So when he goes there, he meets, of course, he has the internal plan to meet Ishwarapuri and take Diksha. So when he meets, he requests him, seeing his profound prema, he becomes so attracted and he requests him, can you please give me the way to attain this prema which you have in your heart? Then he requests for Diksha. Ishwarapuri knows who is this person, but what can you say when God himself has come and expressed the desire? It's once, it's also one's expression of love to follow them. So Ishwarapuri, in the mood of servant, he offers him the Harinam Diksha. And he tells him, because he's taking the role of guru, so he instructs him, you chant this mantra, Harinama, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, with great faith that is non-different from Krishna. And you chant this, and in fact, you distribute this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he starts chanting. In that Leela, it is described that he comes back the next day crying to his spiritual master, telling that, I don't know what is happening to me. When I chant following your instruction, I am finding profuse ecstatic symptoms. Then when hearing his description, Ishwarapuri says, oh, my disciple, my son, what you're experiencing is very necessary. In fact, it is desired. So continue chanting. This is what happens when one chants holy names properly. So what is discussed at that moment, Ishwarapuri tells this shloka. The shloka comes in the 11th canto, which says how ecstatic love could be attained by performing regulative devotional service, by Vaidhi sadhana. Can you read a devotee?
A devotee, in the course of executing the regulative principles of devotional service, develops his natural Krishna consciousness, and being thus softened at the heart, he chants and dances like a madman. While performing chanting of the holy name of the Lord, he sometimes cries, sometimes talks wildly, sometimes sings, and sometimes, without caring for any outsider, dances like a madman.
Madman. Say, huh? Or Gayanti, huh? Nrityavat. Like that, there are a lot of very nice Evam Vrata, Swapriyana Makirtya, Jata, like that, the verse is there. So, point is, just by following the regulative principles, the Vaidhi sadhana, one has awakened natural Krishna consciousness. So, this is the one way of attaining prema through Vaidhi sadhana born bhava. The other way, what was it next in the chart? You recollect? What we just now saw was this route. I hope all of you are finding it right. Huh? Vaidhi sadhana, by that one attained bhava, then one attained prema from that. Now, by raganuga sadhana, one attained bhava, and from there he attained prema.
Okay.
So that's now Prabhupada gives evidence following Rupa Goswami. The example of that Chandrakanti. Can you read this in Padma Purana?
In the Padma Puran, there is a statement about aesthetic love born of spontaneous affection. Chandrakanti, a celebrated fair-faced girl, rigidly observed celibacy in order to obtain Krishna as her husband. She always engaged herself in meditating on the transcendental form of Lord and always chanted the glories of the Lord. She did not desire to accept anyone else as her husband. She had firmly decided that only Lord Krishna would be her husband.
So Chandrakanti was given as example for Raganuga sadhana leading to bhava, and that same bhava led it to prema. So there here also another example is given. So she had such great attraction to Krishna, following in the footsteps of gopis, that she danced that whole night. She desired none but Krishna as her husband, and she attained Krishna in that relationship. So that is sadhana or bhava. From bhava one has attained prema, like that. Raganuga sadhana, bhava and prema. So the next branch was about Lord's extraordinary mercy. You can never, say that it can't be attained without any qualification, especially when Krishna's mercy is. Can you read this? When a devotee is found to be.
When a devotee is found to be always associated with the Lord in ecstatic love, it is to be understood that such a position has been awarded by the Lord himself out of his causeless extraordinary mercy.
See, this is very interesting. If someone is always associated with Lord, that means such a position is given by Lord himself, because one can't attain that. One may get association of Lord for some time by sadhana bhakti or bhava bhakti kind of that. But if one has got an extraordinary mercy, then he can be always associated with Lord. That is causeless. That's extraordinary. That's very rare. So the example given, very interesting, is gopis. The gopis in Vrindavan. Can you read this? Lord Krishna telling to Uddhava about gopis.
The gopis in Vrindavan did not study the Vedas to achieve me, nor had they ever been in holy places of pilgrimage, nor did they devoutly execute any regulative principle, nor did they undergo any kind of austerity. It is simply by my association that they have attained the highest perfection of devotional service.
So it's simply by my association they have attained. So I desired, because they had, I wanted to favor them. So because of my desire, my mercy, they have attained this. Not by doing any kind of Vaidhi sadhana or Raganuga sadhana, no. Like that it's described. So the point is, whether one has attained either by practice in terms of Vaidhi or Raganuga, or even he has gotten mercy, one thing very important to note is they are always desiring to think of Krishna and glorify. Right? So this is something very, very important to note. See, we can't demand mercy of Lord, especially extraordinary mercy. You can't demand it. Huh? When it comes, it's Lord's desire. Huh? But at the same time, what we should do, we should express our desire, our yearning, our plead by expressing it through always thinking of Krishna, chanting his glories, by intense service attitude. By our actions of sadhana, one should be expressing desire to attain mercy of Krishna. That will ultimately help us attain the mercy. So this is a very interesting thing. Prabhupada says, quoting, in fact, Narada Pancharatra also here. Can you read this? If a person worships,
If a person worships, adores, and loves Hari, the
Ah.
Supreme Lord, he should be understood to have finished all kinds of austerities, penances, and similar processes for self realization. On the other hand, if after undergoing all types of austerities, penances, and mystic yoga practices, one does not develop such love for Hari, then all his performances are to be considered a useless waste of time.
See, if someone is doing tapasya, if someone is doing some vrata, some yoga or like that, and if he has not attained bhakti, then what is the use? But if someone has attained bhakti, it is to be understood that he has already done whatever earlier, this yoga, tapasya, or, vratas, all that he has done. So, like this, the essence of doing any other spiritual path is to attain this. Similarly, the description is also that if someone has seen Krishna, it's understood that he has done all tapasya. If someone has, he has done tapasya, but he has not seen Krishna, it is useless. Similar. So the point is that the goal of all spiritual path is to basically come to understand that one develops respectful service attitude to Krishna, that loving attitude towards Krishna. Otherwise, it's something that like we have missed the essence. We have missed the most important point in following them. So Prabhupada especially quotes this. There was a very famous verse, Aradhito yadi hari tapasa tatah kim. Na aradhito yadi hari tapasa tatah kim. If you have worshipped Lord Hari, what is the use of tapasya? If you have not worshipped Lord Hari, then what is the use of tapasya? Like that, there is rhetoric in both of them, actually. So the point is, the essence of all spiritual practice is to worship Krishna, serve Krishna, to develop love towards Krishna. Like that. Can you read ahead? Spontaneous attraction.
Spontaneous attraction to Krishna, which is said to be due to the extraordinary mercy of the Lord, can be placed under two headings. One is profound veneration for the greatness of the Lord, and the other one is one's being automatically attracted to Krishna without any extraneous consideration.
Actually, Prabhupada is translating here. So we'll start seeing this. So before we go to this prema two headings, what we just now saw, how one attains prema? By bhava maturing into prema. That bhava could be attained either by vaidhi sadhana, for which we saw that example of Bhagavatam shloka, or it could be attained by raganuga sadhana, for which we saw the example of whose? This Chandrakanti. We saw this example, right? We read that part. Or it could be by Lord's extraordinary mercy. The gopis, who are always with Krishna, who are so constantly associated with Krishna, that itself shows that it's Lord's very special mercy on them. So that is something very, very special. So when we talk about mercy, how do we see it? Actually, for any attainment, be it bhava or even or prema, the mercy is surely required. Whether one is doing sadhana or not, mercy has the great important role there. Even if one does sadhana bhakti, say vaidhi sadhana, raganuga sadhana, he needs mercy so that it becomes bhava. And for that bhava to become prema, he needs surely mercy. And the other path is wherein he has not practiced anything, but yet he gotten the mercy of Lord. That's extraordinary mercy. The word qualifier is there. So mercy, it's rare. At the same time, because we have received the process to attract the mercy of Lord, it is also something doable for us. Can you read this, Prabhu, on the screen?
Mercy rare and not rare. It is rare for someone to achieve prema by Lord's mercy alone.
So it is rare for someone to achieve prema by Lord's mercy alone, it is told here.
Thus, Lord's mercy is essential for all, even for those who are said to attain prema by their own efforts, sadhana. If our sadhana does not attract the Lord's mercy, it will not bestow bhava and prema.
Prema. So in the chart we saw, their mercy is essential. It's like you cannot take that off. It is like compulsory. At the same time, there is another branch where it's extraordinary mercy. One is elevating only by the mercy. That's a very special case. So what is coming next is two types of prema, which Prabhupada just now paraphrased. The two types of prema. See, we say prema bhaktas. There are many varieties of prema bhaktas. One type of prema bhaktas, they have knowledge of Lord's great powers. In fact, they express it as, oh Lord, you are supremely great. What is not possible for you? But yet you're doing like this, it just melts our heart. Oh, we are offering our. And how can we act in a manner of superior to you? Oh, we just are your servants, life after life. We are just your servants eternally. Like the moods in Vaikuntha, moods in Dwaraka, moods in, say, Saket Dham, Ayodhya. This is all Mahatmya Jnana Prema. Prema, but it is mixed with the knowledge of Lord's majesty. Why? What is problem if there is knowledge of Lord's majesty? Is it considered mixture? Do you think, is there any difficulty? Because the next one says it's unmixed or pure prema.
Mostly, Prabhuji, people who have jnana don't have prema. They feel that we know everything and we can achieve Lord by the knowledge.
Okay. But here, it's a jnana about that person, no? So it will, in fact, moving one towards that person.
Yes.
So, interestingly, what to note here is it's called Aishwarya Mishrita Prema. The knowledge of Lord's powers, like in Vaikuntha. Oh, what is not possible for Lord Narayana? He is the one who is, just by his breath, he is making the Brahmandas appear. Is it not? So this awareness, this very much there in their foreground of the consciousness. Is it not? Lord's amazing powers, the Chit Shakti, the many Sambit Shakti, Sandhini Shakti, all that description or knowledge of Lord's powers, it makes a person become more venerant, very respectful towards Lord. Whereas in the other type of prema, which is called as unmixed or pure prema, there could be awareness, but it will not come as block in expression of prema. They can act in the way Krishna wants. If Krishna wants that they should in fact become his father or superior or dominate him, they will not have any hindrance, because their prema is pure, unmixed. Kevala prema it is called. This doesn't mean they don't have knowledge of Lord's majesty, but it is there. But it is not coming in foreground. I hope all of you are making this difference. Can you read the slide? Mahatmya Jnana. Can you read the whole
Mahatmya Jnana. Prema mixed with knowledge of the Lord's majesty. Narad Panchratra, Nectar of Devotion, page 145. Bhava, matured from Vaidehi Sadhana, becomes Mahatmya Jnana Prema. This type of prema arises from the devotee's appreciation of Krishna's godhood and majesty.
So this is Vaidhi Sadhana maturing into Bhava, then from there prema. If that is the way prema has evolved or awakened, then it is usually Mahatma Jnana Prema. It's Mahatma Jnana Prema. Like the prema scene in Vaikuntha, the prema scene, I was giving many examples. Like the prema of Hanuman, the prema of Jaya Vijaya, the prema of Lakshmiji, the prema, all these, these are all prema bhaktas, but their prema is Mahatma. Okay. Like even Dwaraka also, there is also Mahatma Jnana Mishra. The second one, can you read?
Keval unmixed pure prema.
Uh,
Bhava matured from raganurag sadhana becomes Keval prema.
so Raganuga sadhana, I hope you all remember Raganuga sadhana has the element of lobha or greed to attain the prema of a Ragatmika Bhakta. I hope all of you recollect this. Huh? So because of that, he has developed that deep desire to attain prema. So that kind of prema is Kevala prema. Here comes a very important point. It's Kevala prema. Where do you see this? Kevala prema. Which leelas, which abode? Huh? Which abode? Which
Vrindavan,
dhama? Vrindavan.
All
Only.
Vrindavan gopis.
That's the only place where one can find Kevala prema is Vrindavan. Because those devotees have such superior type of prema, which is unmixed, pure. It's not ignorance, okay? But it is a profound desire to please that person. That desire to please, it in fact dominates the desire, the knowledge or the awareness of Lord's bhava. This is the extreme prema. It's pure, it is intense. Can you read that next paragraph? In this type of prema?
In this type of prema, one's love reposes exclusively on Krishna himself. One's affection never deviates to any other than Lord Krishna, not even to Lord Krishna's opulence and power.
They love Krishna not because he is God, not because he is the supreme personality or he is the absolute truth. No, because of his wonderful, attractive qualities, because he's such a lovable person. That's it. This is their intense mamata, intense desire to please him. So it is very, very superior. So Prabhupada, in this little highlight we had read, what it means here is spontaneous attraction, which is said to due to the extreme, this is actually prema's two categories under two headings. One is profound veneration for greatness of Lord. What is this? What is this category? What is this category? Just now we saw.
Jnana.
Mahatmya Jnana.
Mahatmya.
Mahatmya Jnana Prema. You can mark it. Other is one's automatically attracted to Krishna without extraneous consideration. This is
Kevala.
Kevala. So you see how it proceeds ahead. Prabhupada points out in Narada Pancharatra. Can you read this? Can you continue reading? In the Narada Pancharatra.
In the Narada Pancharatra, it is said that if on account of profound veneration for the greatness of the Supreme Lord, one attains a great affection and steady love for him, one is certainly assured of attaining the four kinds of Vaishnava liberation.
Can you recollect four kinds of Vaishnava liberation or personal liberation? There are total 5, no? One of them is impersonal liberation, which doesn't do.
Samipya.
Very right. Yes. Sarshti, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sarshti. That's the 4 words. So Prabhupada now points that out. So the one who has attained prema from Vaidhi sadhana born bhava, that is Mahatmya Jnana prema, he will attain what? Those 4 types of liberation. He will attain spiritual world. Vaikuntha, Dwaraka, all these places, but in these forms. So that is described here. Can you read? Namely achieving
the same bodily features as the Lord, achieving the same opulences as the Lord, dwelling on the planet where the Lord is residing, and attaining eternal association with the Lord. The Vaishnava liberation is completely different from the Mayavad liberation, which is simply a matter of being merged into the effulgence of the Lord.
So what we saw in this whole description is which type of prema? Mahatmya Jnana prema. Okay, please note that. Now next part is coming for Kevala prema. So Prabhupada describes in the Narada Pancharatra this type of prema, unalloyed devotional service. He mentions it. It's done without any motive for personal benefit. If a devotee is continuously in love with Krishna, there is no disturbance because of Aishwarya Jnana, Mahatmya Jnana. This is Kevala Prema described. That, and his mind is always fixed on him. That devotional service will prove to be the only means of attracting attention of the Lord. Just see the special, the benefit of this is this type of prema attracts the attention of the Lord. It's very, very attractive to Lord. Which type of prema? Which type of prema? I think all of you have missed out. Kevala
Prema.
Kevala prema. So such a person, that's the word is used, is pure Vaishnava. Kevala prema Vaishnava, that is. So just this is actually a very broad topic in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is described because we are studying within the scope of the course. It is enough to understand this, but actually the more description one can find in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In fact, Nectar of Devotion, further chapters, future chapters describe this. So no matter whether a person has any type of prema, Mahatmya Jnana prema, Kevala prema, it's greatly fortunate position. At the same time, the gradation is also shown so that we understand how a Lord sees each of these premas. So Prabhupada says, a devotee who has achieved causeless mercy, he is attracted by the supreme greatness of Lord and he attains this. So one should find this very, very great fortunate situation, and one should very respectfully take to this any opportunity to awaken prema, whether Mahatmya Jnana prema or Kevala prema. Okay, so from here, in fact, the description of prema bhakti concluded. Very, very brief synopsis of prema bhakti is given here. What next as a last part of this division is told is the whole sequence or growth of prema. How one attains prema at the end. That is the whole description. So if you see carefully, I had last time also shown this, there are 9 stages. 9 stages. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha. Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. These are total 9 stages. So in the next part of this chapter, just few paragraphs more, Prabhupada describes these 9 stages in very, very brief manner. The more description of them, in fact, is given by Rupa Goswami in another work. And one of the acharyas in the same lineage, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, has expanded this 9 into 14 and has described it in his book called Madhurya Kadambini. So like this, very careful analysis of each stage in developing to prema is described. It starts from Shraddha. And slowly, up till Nishtha, it grows. This is called Sadhana Bhakti. And from there, one can choose to go to Raganuga Sadhana, or he can continue in the same Vaidhi Sadhana, Sadhana Bhakti, up till Bhava and Prema. Or if one takes the Raganuga Sadhana, he may achieve Raganuga Sadhana, and then that Lobha, with that he attains Bhava and Prema. So ultimately, if we carefully see, to attain Prema, one can do it by Vaidhi Sadhana in the beginning and he attains Bhava and Prema. Or it could be Vaidhi Sadhana, Raganuga Sadhana, and Bhava and Prema. A very special case is one takes directly to Raganuga in the very beginning, with not much Shastric regulations. Directly Raganuga Sadhana, and he attains Bhava and then attains Prema. So there could be all these possibilities. And of course, the possibility of Lord's mercy is always there. That's very rare, but that possibility is surely there, Lord's desire. So what is told by Vaidhi to Bhava to Prema is something called as Maryada Marga. We had seen that word in chapter 14. What is told as Raganuga Sadhana, Bhava and Prema is called Pushti Marga. This also was seen in chapter number 16 at the end. But what is suggested by Srila Prabhupada in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Goswamis is this Marga, is this path. What is this path? Start from Vaidhi Sadhana with the desire to attain Raganuga. And at Raganuga Sadhana, one gains that lobha, getting very much affected by the pure love of pure devotees. And from there he attains bhava, and from there he goes to prema. This is very safe and, in fact, very delineated, carefully delineated path. One will not fall to some imitations or some malpractices or like that. So this is what Srila Prabhupada in the ISKCON has instituted. He has given a lot of guidelines for this too. This is the way. So at this moment, Rupa Goswami describes these 9 stages in brief. We will see them, we'll read them too now. So under the title Association with Pure Devotees. Can someone else like to take up here reading? Yes, although
many different processes for developing love of Godhead have been explained so far, Srila Rupa Goswami now gives us a general description of how one can best achieve such a high position.
So this is a general description. It is something which everyone can, at least have an understanding and try to go in that most suggested path. The extreme mercy of Lord is always the case, but nonetheless, this is most recommended. Continue. The beginning of
ecstatic love of Godhead is basically faith. There are many societies and associations of pure devotees, and if someone with just a little faith begins to associate with such societies, his advancement to pure devotional service is rapid.
So what is this stage? It is Shraddha, little faith. It actually has to be born from Shastra with proper appreciation to the goals also. That is little faith, that is Shraddha. Then further what happens? He associates with devotees. Continue the influence.
The influence of a pure devotee is such that if someone comes to associate with him with a little faith, one gets the chance of hearing about the Lord from authoritative scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
So this is actually a description of which stage? Can you guess? After Shraddha, what comes?
Ruchi, Prabhu?
No, Ruchi. Ruchi is far high.
Bhajana Kriya, Prabhu.
Okay, Bhajana Kriya is there, but before that, Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha. So that Sadhu Sangha, when he took it, because of that influence of Sadhu Sangha, he became very interested in Bhajana Kriya. Continue. Thus by the mercy
of Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, one gradually develops his faith in the description of such authoritative scriptures. This is the first stage of association with the pure devotee. In the second stage, after one becomes a little advanced and mature, he automatically offers to follow the principles of devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee and accepts him as the spiritual master.
So this is the stage of Bhajana Kriya. Actually, in Bhajana Kriya, he has taken Bhajana, but he becomes more committed to Bhajana. So the process of initiation, actually it marks this commitment. So that's how it is described, Bhajana Kriya. Next, in the next stage,
under the guidance of the spiritual master, the devotee executes regulative devotional service, and as a result of such activities, he becomes free from all unwanted occupations.
What is this?
Anartha
Okay, continue.
When he is freed from the unwanted occupations, his faith becomes steadily fixed and he develops a transcendental taste for devotion.
Okay, wait. There is a lot of many stages coming here. So when he's freed, his faith becomes steadily fixed. What is this?
Nishtha.
Then he develops a transcendental taste. Ruchi. Attachment.
Attachment.
Interest, asakti,
Asakti, ecstasy,
Bhava.
bhava. And
bhava,
there is pure love of
Prema.
God.
prem.
Okay, so these are the different stages of development of pure love. Actually, each of these stages have enormous details within them. Srila Prabhupada has, for our understanding, because it's the Eastern division, and in future divisions or sites, it's going to be described there more. So continue reading. Only the most fortunate
Only the
persons.
most fortunate persons can achieve such success in life. Those who are simply academic students of the Vedic scriptures cannot appreciate how such a development takes place.
Continue. In the Narada
Pancharatra, Lord Shiva therefore tells Parvati, "My dear Supreme Goddess, you may know from me that any person who has developed the ecstasy of love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who is always merged in transcendental bliss on account of this love cannot even perceive the material distress or happiness coming from the body or mind."
Just see, the one who has attained this love, he did not perceive also these material experiences. It's such exalted state. He's in this world, but these experiences doesn't affect him, doesn't matter to him anything. They are from body and mind. He has become so transcendental to body and mind. So like this, Rupa Goswami in fact concludes the description of Prema Bhakti. He says the further part, Prema is not the end or the conclusion. As I told earlier, the sugar starts becoming condensed. The sugarcane juice, it became a raw sugar, little thickened sugar liquid. Then it became little solid, but it is still dark in color. Then it became white. Then it becomes much thicker. There are further these things, like after Prema, it is told Sneha, Pranaya, Raga. Like this, there are total of another 6 delineations. And above them, there are 4 more. So like this, there are descriptions of development of love, pure love. And Rupa Goswami says these different manifestations are described by Sanatana Goswami in another book called Brihat Bhagavatamrita. So that's a description there. He has described them very nicely, but here it is summarized like that. So at the end, he says, I offer this work, this whatever I am writing for the pleasure of my dear, my worshipable Goswamis. Can you read this, Sri Rupa Goswami?
Yes.
Sri Rupa Goswami thus concludes the first division of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, offering up his treatise for the transcendental pleasure of the Sanatana Goswami, who has established the transcendental beauty, and of Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, and Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. It appears from this statement that the great Srila Jiva Goswami was not yet active when Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu was written.
So thus ends the Bhaktivedanta summary study of first division, the Eastern division, which describes of ecstatic love of Godhead, and the future follows actually. Then the next part is different types of bhava, vibhava, sanchari bhava, many bhavas like that. So if you see, this development of Shraddha to Prema is something we should all note, very, very important. Let's quickly recite this, because all of you should remember these 9 stages. Okay. Adau Shraddha Tatah Sadhu, Sangotha Bhajana Kriya, Tato Nartha Nivritti Syat, Tato Nishtat Ruchistataha, Atha Saktis Tato Bhavas, Tatah Prema Bhyudanchati, Sadhakanam Ayam Premna, Pradhurbhave Bhavet Kramaha. So this you can see Adau, Tataha, 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 and then abhyudanchati. It's a sequence of 8 steps. Shraddha to prema. That's the word. So this is the way one actually can understand the development of prema. The emotions intensify and finally there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of God. Of course, the method of attaining mercy of Lord, that's always there. One always hopes for it, aspires for it, yearns for it. But when it comes, it comes. It's the desire of Lord. We can't demand Lord. Is it not? Someone has to mute. Okay. So, but at the same time, what is told is go through these stages, express your desire and continue the path of bhakti. So like this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also has very clearly told in his opinion, what are those which are to be regarded as supreme for bhakta trying to attain prema to Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this is one of the very famous verses Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would quote. I'll just end with this last few slides about conclusion. So he would say this shloka, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas. The Bhagavan whom I worship, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, whom I worship, I serve is Vrajesha Tanaya, not Dwarakadish, not Mathurapati, not Narayana, but whom? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very clear, very specific he is. Vrajesha Tanaya. See, we all respect, we all adore all these forms as expansions of Krishna only. But nonetheless, our object of attachment and service is specifically Vrajesha Tanaya. Vrajesha Tanaya here means son of Vrajesha, that is Nanda Maharaj. That is Vrindavan Krishna. Tadhama Vrindavanam. The supreme spirit, holy place, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, is Vrindavan. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajabadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. The greatest devotees who have shown this worship, that's the greatest worship, the supreme worship is the worship done by gopis. Did they do it with great amount of items? Dravyas or like that? No. Their worship was most simple, but their surrender was so high. For pleasure of Krishna, what not they put at stake. Their extreme surrender, their extreme desire to please me. Lord Krishna says that I can't repay their love. That's their highest, that he considers as highest worship. Gopis, they are the supreme devotees. One always aspires like that. And then, which is the scripture I should read and I should take support of, I should always learn about this bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam. Srimad Bhagavatam. All Vedic scriptures are wonderful, written by Vyasa. They are all words of Lord. But yet Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very special. It describes these prema bhaktas and the expression of prema by the devotees and expression of prema by Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amala Pramana, Purana. And what do I want to achieve? Prema Pumartho Mahan. My greatest desire, my greatest goal, supreme goal of life, Pumartha, Purushartha, is not Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. It is Prema. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor Matamidam. This is Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mata, opinion. Tatradara Nahpara. Nothing else I regard as the highest. So, this is a verse Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would quote a lot. And Srila Prabhupada also has repeated it many, many places. So, the meaning of that is that the supreme worshipable person, Aradhya, is Krishna, the son of Vrajesha, Nanda Maharaj. That is Vraja Krishna, Vrindavana Krishna. The supreme abode is, or the dham, is Vrindavan dham. The supreme devotees are gopis because their worship or love is so very spontaneous. It's filled with intense desire to please Lord, raga. The supreme shastra or pramana by which one can attain this type of bhakti, one can learn about this type of bhakti, hear about that, is Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many types of shastras, they all describe bhakti, but this scripture is very special. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers, they so much glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. And as the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada also, you see how his faith was in Srimad Bhagavatam. He was carrying that as the only possession when he's going to America, is it not? In fact, he would say, actually, I am not going to United States of America. It's Srimad Bhagavatam which is going, and I am just a companion. It is Srimad Bhagavatam which is going and preaching. That was his conviction. And what do we want to attain by the practice of bhakti? It's not some material benefit. It's not liberation. It is prema. That's the aspiration. So like this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very clearly delineated. In this particular study of Nectar of Devotion, this unit, we have seen these methods, is it not? We have seen all of these items. In the very beginning, Krishna as the highest object of worship was shown. And then Supreme Abode Vrindavan in the limbs of 64 principles, this was also shown. The gopis' love in the types of Ragatmika Bhakti, it was described. Srimad Bhagavatam in the angas of Bhakti, this was explained. And just now we saw that Prema Bhakti, the highest attainment. So like this, Nectar of Devotion is a very classic translation of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in the lines of Rupa Goswami. And it is actually giving us the highest aspirations, where we should actually look to, what should be our cultivation. So Bhakti path is surely path of love, path of one's heart, it's path of grace. At the same time, it is a cultivation. How to cultivate it? By developing proper aspirations, by the right associations, by the right methods. One should know. Prabhupada called this Nectar of Devotion as signs of devotion, especially for this first part of the book, which is Eastern Division. So we have seen in this Nectar of Devotion, there are so many divisions, is it not? So Srila Prabhupada described especially this first division as signs of devotion. When Srila Prabhupada in 1972, I believe, he visited Vrindavan. He in fact called all his disciples to come to Vrindavan. And you know what is this place? Any of you can guess? This is Vrindavan, of course, but in Vrindavan, any of you know?
Radhakund Prabhu?
No, not Radhakund.
Is one of Goswami's.
This is Rupa Goswami's Samadhi.
Correct.
Opposite to that, Bhajan Kutir also is there. So Srila Prabhupada sat in fact, Prabhupada stayed at this temple. If you read Lilamrita, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, the biography of Srila Prabhupada, he so much valued that stay. He got so much inspiration from Rupa Goswami. So Srila Rupa Goswami is at that very place of his bhajana, his disappearance as a samadhi. Srila Prabhupada spoke about Nectar of Devotion there. Bhagavad Dharma discourses, it was called. Very famous. One can hear to them. Prabhupada speaks Nectar of Devotion, describes for many days. And all the devotees in that very cold mornings, they would go and they would just learn so many wonderful aspects about this bhakti there. The Prabhupada would create absorption, he would speak, and he offered it at for the pleasure of Sri Rupa Goswami there. So we are very, very fortunate to have received this from Srila Prabhupada, this wonderful knowledge. We know now so much about the bhakti. So much precision is there in bhakti. It's like a rocket science only, is it not? How very carefully you cultivate, you develop your thoughts, you do the right actions and right intents. And our aspiration is to develop prema. It can't be attained by our efforts. It can't be attained by our efforts alone. We have to pray to receive the mercy of Lord. At the same time, we express that desire by our efforts. So sadhana bhakti, with that desire to attain prema, is very, very powerful. That's what takes us to the next step. Srila Prabhupada has taught us all this in his society, in his books. We follow his example. So thank you very much, because this concludes the Eastern division. We have come to this conclusion of this Nectar of Devotion study. So whatever I understood with my little intelligence, I tried to explain, but surely you can refer to senior Vaishnavas. There are wonderful books written about it. Many, many great Maharajas have spoken about it. You can hear them and learn more about it. I thank for this opportunity, because I could very deeply appreciate the path of bhakti by this service of teaching. It was more of learning for myself. Thank you very, very much. And kindly, please know that whatever I spoke is their words. If something has inspired you in your practice of bhakti, in your learning, kindly pray for me. At the same time, if there is something which has displeased you, it has discouraged you, please know that it's my fault. Kindly forgive me for that. And I wish all the best for your future study. Kindly do not stop this learning. Take to repeated learning in much deeper way. Take to study of Bhagavatam. Because we saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's words. That's the way to develop prema. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we conclude here. If any of you have any comments or questions, surely we can take. Today we are ending the class early.
Thank you so
Okay,
much,
thank you
Prabhuji,
so much,
for
Prabhu.
all your, for bearing with us. We have not been your best
No.
students. Sorry, and
Hare-
thank you so much, Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
for your
So
patience.
any of you have any questions? Any questions? Okay, so
When will we, Hare Krishna, when will you close book and open book, Prabhu?
that's something which I was waiting for. Dasrash Prabhu, is he here? Can't.
Said it was not decided yet, Prabhu, in the message.
So we were thinking, no, that shloka test is on Monday.
Monday.
I hope all of you are preparing. It's just 4 shlokas. Come with memorization of that with the meaning. 6
Only shloka and meaning, right, Prabhu? No,
those 4
what to-
shlokas with the meaning. What word is? You have all given shloka tests so far, so many. It's not something new. And it's just 4. Thank you. We will meet on
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna,
Monday evening 6:30 p.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Nectar of Devotion ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much,
so
Prabhu.
much, Prabhuji.
Sorry,
Thank you,
for
Prabhuji.
the offering this.
Humble obeisance to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Krishna Prabhu.
Dhanavad.